The frightening deliveries of explosive devices and the nationwide search for the person who sent them ended with an arrest in Florida.
These terrorizing acts are despicable and have no place in our country.
Authorities say they have the person in custody who went through all this effort to mail IEDs in these yellow envelopes to prominent figures in the Democratic Party.
Suspect at the AutoZone.
Investigators say it was a fingerprint that led them to 56-year-old Cesar Sayoc. He was arrested at 10:30 this morning in a parking lot of an AutoZone in Plantation, Florida, just outside Fort Lauderdale. A witness says he gave up without a fight.
It almost seemed like he knew he was going to get caught, saw him get in with no problem. And he just had that look of, okay, it's over.
Federal investigators tonight are describing him as a domestic terrorist with a political chip on his shoulder. The windows of the white van that police say he had parked outside were covered with potential evidence, the hard-to-miss political messages supporting the president and demonizing his critics, including Hillary Clinton and CNN.
He has been charged today with 5 federal crimes, including interstate transportation of an explosive, illegal mailing of explosives.
He already has a past criminal record and, if convicted of these crimes, could face up to 48 years in prison. His arrest comes after 4 more packages of improvised explosive devices that were discovered just today. A total of 14 explosive devices in all put in the mail to Americans who've criticized President Trump or have been the constant subject of the president's anger.
Each device consisted of roughly 6 inches of PVC pipe, a small clock, a battery, some wiring, and what is known as energetic material. These are not hoax devices.
The very first package was discovered Monday afternoon at the home of Democratic philanthropist George Soros in the suburb north of New York City. Then late Tuesday night, another device, this one sent to Hillary Clinton, caught by the Secret Service before it reached her home in New York. Just hours later, a third package in Washington, D.C. that stopped before it was delivered to the home of President Obama.
The package was found at a screening facility located in Washington, D.C.
Then Wednesday morning in New York City, CNN was reporting on the story when it hit home and alarms went off in their own newsroom.
And to have projectiles, I mean, that sounds like a fire alarm here. We'll keep you posted on that.
That device was addressed to former CIA Director John Brennan, who works at CNN. Then in Maryland, another package, this time meant for Democratic California Congresswoman Maxine Waters. In Florida, police rushed to the office of Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz. The device there was addressed to former Attorney General Eric Holder, but it had Wasserman Schultz's return address. Authorities don't believe that she was in any way associated with this. By Wednesday night, 2 more packages, this time addressed to former Vice President Joe Biden. Both were caught at postal facilities in Delaware. And yesterday morning, the 10th package in the mail for actor Robert De Niro.
At approximately 6:30 a.m., the NYPD bomb squad removed a device.
There were more in the mail this morning. An 11th package recovered near Opelika, Florida. It was addressed to Senator Cory Booker. A short while later in New York City, another package addressed to former Director of Intelligence James Clapper. On the air, Clapper cut to the point.
This is definitely domestic terrorism, no question about it in my mind.
And in California, a 13th package was recovered in Sacramento, addressed to Senator Harris.
We have determined that this device was a legitimate device, and we have now rendered the device safe.
And then the 14th package, addressed to billionaire activist and Democrat Tom Steyer. That package was stopped at a mail facility in Burlingame, California.
We're shown the visuals, what to look for. It was taken very seriously.
The big break that led investigators to Sayoc was a fingerprint found as forensic examiners carefully took apart the crude IED that was addressed to Congresswoman Maxine Waters.
Once I knew that they had a print, I was pretty confident that we'd be able to find the right person.
Investigators ran the prints and found a match, Cesar Sayoc, whose fingerprint was in the system because of previous arrests, including one for an alleged 2002 bomb threat.
Once they find something like a fingerprint or even a partial print, that gets put into their database, which contains other fingerprints from, say, previous arrests, which is apparently how they were able to make the match.
As police recovered more devices, the evidence kept pouring in. Once they could say who he was, they used his cell phone to track him.
This is phenomenal work with the greatest pressure under an incredibly tight time frame. We see unbelievable work like this on TV and in Hollywood, but to see it up close in reality is something to behold.
We're now learning more about the suspect, Cesar Sayoc. His family attorney says he was living out of his van and says his former client wasn't violent but suffers from mental illness. Although we don't know the alleged bomber's exact motivations, new details about his personality are coming in.
It was almost like there were two Cesars. I don't know how to describe it. There was the courteous, the articulate, the dependable, reliable, and then there was this one that just spewed awful, vile, ungodly.
Deborah Guregian, his former boss at a pizza restaurant, describes him as a reliable employee but says his outspoken opinions were often a problem.
I didn't like him as a person, because it offended me with what he was saying about me. Gays, blacks, Jews, Hispanics. He loved Adolf Hitler. His van, what you saw was what you got with his van. It was always Ku Klux Klan or Nazism.
And there are certainly other clues that point to extreme politics. He was one of those people on Twitter constantly posting his dislike for the Clintons, Obamas, and other Democrats.
He may have been appears to be a partisan, but that would be determined by the facts as the case goes forward.
Sayoc also posted videos like this one on social media that appear to show him at Trump rallies.
They're going to look at any type of event, any type of function that he went to, particularly if it was some type of political event or a campaign event. They're going to try to see, was he there with certain people?
Today, the president condemned what he called political violence.
We must never allow political violence to take root in America. Cannot let it happen. And I'm committed to doing everything in my power as president to stop it.
And Wednesday night in Wisconsin, he urged for all sides to come together.
We want all sides to come together in peace and harmony. We can do it.
By the president's own account, he was on his best behavior in the immediate aftermath of this incident. But we have seen some significant backsliding.
Overnight, the president once again attacked the media, tweeting, "Funny how lowly rated CNN and others can criticize me at will, even blaming me for the current spate of bombs and ridiculously comparing this to September 11th and the Oklahoma City bombing. Yet when I criticize them, they go wild and scream, it's just not presidential." And later he wrote, "Republicans are doing so well in early voting, and now this bomb stuff happens and the momentum greatly slows. News not talking politics, very unfortunate." Today, reporters question the president about his recent remarks.
No, not at all. No, not at all. No, that there's no blame. There's no anything. If you look at what happened to Steve Scalise, that was from a supporter of a different party.
And when asked if he would tone down his rhetoric,
well, I think I've been toned down. You want to know the truth? I could really tone it up because, as you know, the media has been extremely unfair to me and to the Republican Party.
At moments of national crisis, we've become used to a president who seeks to unify. President Trump does not have that same instinct. He is, by his nature, someone who plays on the divisions, not the opportunities for unity.
Even though police say there's a suspect behind bars, authorities say this may not be over yet.
Today's arrest means that New Yorkers and indeed people across our nation are safe. But as Director Wray said, there might be more packages out there, so everyone still needs to take caution.
When checking the mail, it's now safety first. For Nightline, I'm Steve Ozinsami in Plantation, Florida.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.